Hi, welcome here, actually welcome. My name is Tony. For a few years now I've been supporting people on this path towards spiritual awakening, towards freedom, towards recognizing what we truly are in essence. And there is something I want to tell you at the beginning of this video. Maybe awakening has already started for you. Maybe much more than you might realize, and perhaps the reason you don't recognize it is because you have an idea of what awakening is supposed to look like. Maybe you have a concept about awakening and you think there should be a kind of explosion, some permanent state of bliss, of inner peace, like no more fat, no more emotions, no more anger, no more sadness, no more humanity, I would say. You become this perfectly peaceful, spiritual human being floating through life. But I'm going to tell you something. This is not my experience. Awakening can begin much more quietly than this. Sometimes it begins simply because the life you believed in completely no longer convinces you. Something starts to crack inside you. You begin questioning things you never questioned before. You start noticing your thoughts instead of automatically believing every one of them. You start investigating within yourself. You may even have this strange little moment where everything becomes, I would say, incredibly simple. You simply are here. Life is here. Everything is, very simple. And for 1 second, there is nothing missing. Then the mind might come back and says, what was that? How do I get it back? How do I get that back, you see? And was that an awakening? Was that a spiritual awakening that everyone is speaking about? And the seeking begins again. So today I want to share 7 signs that awakening may already be happening in your own experience. Not as a checklist. So please don't make another identity out of this, you see. Like I have 6 signs, so I must be awakened very soon. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like this, you see. So simply be here and listen, and more importantly, look in your own experience, you see. So sign number 1, I would go with the life you were chasing starts losing its absolute importance, its interest, you see. So maybe you spent years believing, well, like I used to, you see, when I get this job I will finally be happy. When I have enough money, I will be kind of complete. When I find the right relationships, maybe when people will recognize me, when my life looks the way I want it to look, you see. All of that kind of ego dreams. Then, something changes. You may still enjoy these things. There is nothing wrong with that. You may still work, have goals, raise your children, make money, travel, build things. Okay? Again, there is nothing wrong with this. So awakening doesn't mean becoming kind of uninterested in life. But somewhere inside you begin to see none of these things can give me what I'm truly looking for. And that's true, you see. I went through this as well. Because every time you get something, eventually another desire appears, you see. You can see in your own experience that it doesn't last, you see. This sense of fulfillment with the object of this world. So another problem appears, another thought says, no, not yet. The object changes. When I say object is the desire, the problems, the events in life. But seeking continues, and perhaps for the first time you begin wondering, what if what I'm looking for cannot be found in other experience? This is already a profound opening, a profound shift, you see. So, sign, yeah, number 2, I would go with you begin seeing your thought instead of automatically begin being your thought, you see. You stop following them. And this one is, yeah, a huge one. So, for instance, before a thought appeared, I am not good enough. And immediately, no, I am not good enough. I mean, you truly believe in it, you see. Or I'm going to fail, and immediately, I'm going to fail. Or could be another one, they don't like me, and just after it, you follow the thought, and yeah, they don't like me. You know, there was almost no space between the thought and the belief in that thought. But then something strange starts happening. A thought appears, and you see it like with distance. You are able to observe it with detachment. Maybe only for half a second, you notice the thought. And you tell yourself, oh, that was a thought. And just this noticing is very powerful. This sounds, I know, very simple, but if you, in your own experience, you look at how profound it is, you can see the thought. So you stop feeling the thought. So are you the thought? It's like a cloud appears in the sky. The sky is not the cloud. A thought appears, it stays for a moment, then it disappears. But something remains. You remain after the thought has disappeared. And this little recognition can completely change the relationships with the mind, with the thought. You don't need to destroy your thought. You don't need to stop thinking. It's impossible. You begin, constantly. You simply begin to see thought is appearing, and I am simply aware of it. And just this recognition is very simple but powerful. So sign number 3, you become tired of pretending. This is ego things, you see. You start noticing how much of your life has been kind of performance, trying to be liked as I used to, trying to be impressive, trying to say the right things, trying to appear strong when you are afraid. Like if you know my story, it was what happened to me a lot, you see. Trying to appear spiritual when you are angry. Trying to maintain an image of who you think you should be. And this is truly energy consuming. And yeah, suddenly all of this object becomes kind of exhausting. You just want to be real. This doesn't mean you start saying everything that comes into your head or behaving however you want. I think it's truly much simpler. You begin losing interest in protecting an image of yourself. And that can feel kind of frightening at first, you see, because the character we call me is largely made of from stories. It's a pure illusion, you see. Who I was, what happened to me, what people think of me, what I felt at, what I hope to become. And then these stories become a little less solid. There can be this feeling, I am not, and if I am not all of that, then who am I? That's one is beautiful, you see. And don't answer too quickly, just stay there. Who are you if you are not the story of you? Who are you without using mind, using memory, without telling me your name, without telling me your age, your profession, your nationality, history, successes, failures? Yeah, your story. But right now, you see, who are you right now? Before the next thought tells you who you are. What are you? That's the question. So, sign number 4. You feel, yeah, kind of drawn towards silence. Maybe you want Maybe you begin wanting more moments alone. Yeah, spent. Oh, I wanted to be always alone in my path at some point. We call this the hermit phase. Maybe nature suddenly touches you, I would say, differently. Again, as it happened for me. Maybe you sit somewhere and for no particular reason you don't want to reach for your phone. You don't want another video, another teaching, another answer. You just want to be here. And sometimes silence can even feel, I would say, uncomfortable at first because you are not accustomed to it. This doesn't mean anything. Because when we stop distracting ourselves, we begin noticing everything we were kind of avoiding. Thoughts, fears, yeah, restlessness, emotions, and the feeling that something should be happening. But if you remain there gently, you may discover something very beautiful, simple. Silence is not empty, even if it might feel empty at first. But silence is not empty, it is full. No, not full of objects, not full of thoughts, experiences, events. It's full of what you are, presence. And there is something here before you add anything to this moment. And strangely, that simple being can feel more intimate than everything you were searching for. You know? So sign number 5, emotions are still here, but something about them is changing. This is important because there are so many myths around awakening. People think like, if I awaken, I will never be angry again. I will never feel sadness. I will never feel irritated. I will become kind of a superhero, kind of invisible. Not at all. And many spiritual teachers speak about that, like Jeff Foster. I've made plenty of videos about this. You are still human. You see, this body can become tired. Anger can appear. Sadness can appear. Fear can appear. Doubt can appear. I have children. I have a family. I have responsibilities. Life still happens here too, you see. But it's not personal. Awakening is not the destruction of humanity. What may begin changing is your relationships with what appears. So this shift changes everything, you see. So instead of I am angry, you begin seeing anger is here. Instead of I am sad, sadness is here. Instead of I am doubtful, doubts, uncertainty is here. Do you see the difference? The emotion is not denied, it's actually allowed more fully. It's not longer a void. It no longer has to define who you are. Everything appears, everything changes, everything disappears, you see. And yet something is here to know every appearances. What is that? What is that? So sign number 6, the spiritual search itself starts becoming, exhausting. And this one might surprise you at first. So initially awakening often creates more seeking. We want this spiritual awakening. There is this seeker. You discover spirituality. You watch hundreds of videos, read books, meditate every single day or when you have free time, you see. Listen to teachers. You might attend to satsangs. Try practices, different practices. Maybe you learn about chakras, kundalini, manifestation, enlightenment, consciousness, non-duality, spiritual awakening, and perhaps all of this is useful for a time. Yeah, it is. It's going to drive the seeker. But I tell you, eventually you may become tired, not because spirituality is bad, but because something begins noticing. I'm still waiting, all the time, still waiting for something, still waiting for the next experience, still waiting for the next video, still waiting to become awakened, still waiting for a future moment in which I will finally be complete. And then, perhaps, a very simple question appears. What exactly I am waiting for? Because the moment is already here. Seeing is happening. Hearing is happening. Breathing is happening. Your heart is beating. Thoughts are still appearing. Life, life is effortlessly being itself. And what if awakening is not another experience that must arrive? What if it's just simply the recognition of what has never left, never absent? So, sign number 7, you begin sensing that what you are looking for is already here. It's kind of the seeker starts to disappear. And for me, this is the heart of it. There may be a little moment when seeking simply stops, maybe for only a few seconds. You simply look at a tree, you hear a sound, you feel your breath, your breathing. You are sitting on your sofa, anywhere, and nothing spectacular happens, but somehow everything is okay. Everything is okay. There is no question, no destination to reach, no person who needs to arrive somewhere, and there is simply this moment, infinite moment, and the mind might kick back. The mind arrives. Yes, that was it. How I can keep this? I want to keep this. How do I stay present forever? All of my questioning. And immediately the seeker is back. But notice something in your own experience. That moment was not created by the mind. It has always been here. It appeared when for a moment you stop interfering with mind. And this is where I want to go deeper with you. Because awakening is not really about these 7 signs. We don't care about these signs. It's a simple video, you see. These signs are only movement appearing within the story, you see. The deepest recognition is, I would say, much simpler. You are aware right now. Already, you have always been aware right now. Even if your mind is tense, active, you know that you exist. Before I say another word, you are here and you have always been here. You don't need to believe what I am saying. You don't need a spiritual philosophy for that. You don't need 20 years, 30 years of meditation to know that you are here. And, everything you experience appears within this knowing, within this consciousness that you're just here, you see. So even this body appears within yourself. The room appears, this nature appears, sounds appears, thoughts appears, emotions appears, feelings, sensation appear. Even the thought, I am not awakened, appears within yourself. And this one is powerful. Even the thought, I am not awakened, appears within you. And you are aware of it. This is as simple as this, you see. So what is actually missing right now? What is actually missing right now, in the now? And I don't want you to answer with mind. Just look in your own experience. And this is the strange joke of spiritual seeking. We spend years searching for what is already looking through our eyes. You see, we search for consciousness as if consciousness is an object. We search for being who are already being, and then we ask, how do I get there? How can I awaken? I'm going to tell you, you cannot get there. If you think you can get there, if there is a movement, but you are here. That's the trap. And perhaps the biggest trap after awakening begins is creating another identity around it. It could happen after a spiritual awakening. I am spiritual now. I am awake. Other people are asleep. It creates separation again. So this is one of the biggest traps, you see. So simply, be careful. This is simply the old identity wearing spiritual clothes. There is nothing wrong with the person, you see. But awakening is not about making the person more spiritual, more important. It's saying that the person itself appears within something much larger, something infinite. So your name appears in consciousness. Your whole story appears in consciousness. Your personality appears in consciousness. Even the feeling of being me appears within consciousness. You do not need to destroy any of it. You simply see it, and the movie of your life continues. You simply kind of recognize the screen, and what should you do with that? So maybe nothing as dramatic as you imagine, you see. You don't need to force awakening, because awakening is effortlessly. It's already here. You don't need to become perfectly present, a perfect human, you see. You don't need to fight the mind, because I always repeat this, you will never win a fight against mind. You don't need to get rid of your ego. Simply begin noticing. When a thought appears, see that it appears, it's an object, so everything you see is not you. Like an emotion rise up, you see, allow it to be felt. Don't push it away. When resistance appears, notice resistance too, and accept it fully. And sometimes you can ask gently, what is aware of all of these objects? Don't look for an intellectual answer. Just remain present. Because I know the mind, the intellect may say, I don't know. That's beautiful, because the mind cannot tap into this, cannot understand this. You are aware even of I don't know. And stay there again and again. You may discover that what you are is not something you can see as an object. You cannot see the subject, you see. And because you are that wish is seeing, closing. So if you recognize yourself in these signs, don't make them into another achievement, okay? You are at sign 3 and the next step is the 4. No. You don't need to say my awakening has begun, because it has always been here, you see. It's only words, phrases to make video. But just become, I would say, curious. Something is already noticing this experience. Something knows every thought that comes and goes. Something remains between a thought, after a thought, before, you see. Something knows the body. Something knows the world. And that knowing present has been here through every version of you, and that's powerful. When you were 5 years old, when you were 20, 25, 30, when you were happy, when you were suffering, your body has changed. The body changed. The thought changed. The emotions changed. Your beliefs about yourself, about the world, has changed. Your entire life has changed. And yet, something has not. The simple sense that you are here, as simple as this, you see, has never actually left. It has always been here, you see. And I'm going to finish with, maybe awakening is not becoming something new. Maybe it's simply seeing that what has always been here has never left. And perhaps even the word awakening eventually becomes unnecessary, you see, because it's a big word. And I mean, we believe it's a big word. It's, this is very simply life. This, right now, in the absence of you. And again, nothing to become. You don't need to become something. Nothing is missing, because if you think that something is missing right now, it's mind. If you think that right now you are not awakening, it's mind. And there is no distance between you and what you have been searching for. It's already here. Again, if you are new here, welcome again. My name is Tony Ningam, and I share about spiritual awakening, nonduality, the simple fact of being, the recognition of what we truly are. And I also wrote a book called Simply Now, A Gentle Guide to Spiritual Awakening. It was written from the same sharing. Very simple, very direct, from the heart. And you can find it on my website, tonyningam.com. Everything is on the description below. And as I always say, if money is genuinely a problem, please don't let that stop you. You can write me at contact@tonyningam.com, and I will send you a free copy with my heart. So, again, awakening is already here. Remember, again, don't believe me. Look within yourself right now. I don't want you to believe my words. We don't care about this. We don't care about this video. They are simply words pointing towards the nameless, the wordless. What lies between two thoughts. So what is here before thoughts tells you what is here? What is here? What has always been here? That's a question. And yeah, just investigate within yourself. Much love.